Hello, this is Mr. Hornby83. This is the Mr. Hornby83 show. And the video I did yesterday, I deleted it, so we'll just get that out of the way. But, today I'm going to be talking about, I will be ranking the Batman shows from worst to best. And we're going to get right into that right now. Well, first off on the list, of course, it's a show that only lasted a season. The way it ended on a cliffhanger. It was was not a great show overall. There were some good things about it, but overall it was just terrible. And I am talking about Beware of the Batman. I watched the show when it first came on. I was excited for it. I'm like, yeah, finally a serious Batman show. It was just coming off Batman Brave and Bold, but when I watched it, I was not too enamored with it. They did take it off of the DC morning lineup on weekends and threw it on Toonami. And they ended up showing the rest of the whole show, and aside from a few good stories in the show, and the cliffhanger ending with what, that possibly anarchy was behind everything, that was all okay, but it was just not a great Batman show. It could not live up to better Batman shows. Now, on to the next show. This is a show that a lot of people probably don't know about, or don't remember, but I don't know if it was 1970 or 1980. I know it was before they did the Batman movies, and I know it was after the 66 show, but there was this, I think, a Batman show that was Filmation tapes, and that show was alright. They tried to, do the same stuff they did on the 66 Batman show, but really didn't do it as well as the 66 Batman show did. But I think it was called Batman and Robin. Might have been. Or it might have just been Batman. But I believe that was also the first animated Batman show. And like I said, I don't think a lot of people knew about that. Also, I will not be putting Gotham on this list because I did not watch that whole show from beginning to end. I will be watching the series finale, because there's going to be a lot of good things happening in it, but I didn't watch it from beginning to end, so I won't be watching that. Or I won't be putting it on this list. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if it came out in the 70s or 80s, but yeah, that was the first animated Batman show. Now, next up is, I don't know if it was episodes or if it was actually a show together, but the Scooby-Doo and Batman and Robin episodes. They were too, it just wasn't good. And yeah, I might have got excited about when I was a kid when I watched it, but honestly, when I've watched it back now, as I was getting a little bit older in that, I'm like, nah, this is too crazy. So yeah, Batman and Scooby-Doo. Anyway, next up was a show that would have been good had they done more with it instead of just, leaving it, pretty much just recapping things. The Adventures of Batman and Superman. The Batman versus Superman, or Adventures of Batman and Superman. Now, the show wasn't bad necessarily, but the thing was, you were merging the shows, but they only did like maybe one or two crossovers while that whole show was running, and then pretty much they just show an episode of Batman, and then they show an episode of Superman, and sometimes they'd be repeats from what we've seen in the original versions of both the shows, like the Superman and Batman animated. So that's why I put this one here, because I would have loved to see them go more into Batman versus Superman stuff instead of, doing what they did with the show. Alright, next up is, I can't believe I got this as high as I do. Because when I first saw the show, I did not care for it. But Batman the Brave and Bold. Now, the reason why I put it here between the bad and the good is because there was a lot of good episodes on this show. I mean, the episode with the Owlman episode that was a two-part, that was good. I like the death race thing where, you know, Batman and all of his enemies are racing against that, like, racing because that villain made him. I forgot that guy's name. But, there is a part in that show that me and my son always laughed at when they freaking played it. And that's when Joker, like, sprays out, like, some kind of gas or something out of his car. And he's like, whoever smelt it, dealt it. Also, the episode where Batman encounters the guy that, killed his parents, and that whole episode, Batman's just like struggling on whether he wants to kill this guy or whether he wants to make this guy go to jail, whatever. It was pretty much, I'd have to say, the deepest, because if you know what Batman Brave and Bold was, it was more of a lighthearted comedy show, but this was a kind of Batman animated series, you know, the 90s Batman animated series, and Batman Beyond style episode. I mean, in the end, he decided not to kill the guy. And, you know, he goes off, takes off his mask. He shows him who he is. He's just ranting and raving at the guy. And then he walks away. But see, the guy that killed his parents enlisted all of Batman's enemies, such as the Joker, the Penguin, some of the other stupid villains they made. That's another reason why I didn't like Beware the Batman either, because all the freaking B-level villains they used on that. They didn't use a lot of the A villains. They did have Ra's al Ghul, but no Joker, no Two-Face and all them for Batman. But anyway, after Batman walks away and they all see who he is, and they're like, wait a minute, so you're the reason why we gotta deal with this guy? And I believe the villains all gathered up and killed the guy, and Batman didn't do nothing to stop him. He let him do it. So, yeah. Episodes like that is why Batman Brave and Bold is higher than what I would have put it years and years ago, because had I been doing YouTube back then, when that show was still new, I probably would have had that freaking ranked as the worst. Probably. But anyway. But, yeah. Overall, the show was better than what I gave it credit for. So, yeah. Which is something I won't do for Teen Titans Go or anything. That show still sucks. Anyway, next up, now we're getting into a lot of the good ones. Alright, so next up is The Batman. Now, when this show first came out and they were advertising it, and I was making jokes like, God, Batman's gotten so big, now he's called The Batman. But Batman, The Batman was a pretty good show. You had a lot of villains. It kind of tried to take some of the elements from the 90s show and kind of put it in this show. Didn't work out as well, but it still didn't hurt the show. I thought the show was pretty good. We also got a Batman vs. Dracula in this, which we never really got in the old Batman animated series show. Batman vs. Dracula episode, I think it was a DVD special maybe. But, yeah, I thought that was a pretty good show, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like it because they were, you know, they had just come off of, you know, Batman, the 90s Batman animated series, and then Batman Beyond, which were two great shows. Which leads into the next, third on this list of the best, Batman Beyond. I mean, it took everything from the original animated series from the 90s and built on it. You had old man Bruce Wayne. You had Terry McGinnis as Batman now. McGinnis went through some of the same stuff that Bruce Wayne went through, except for he lost one parent. Bruce Wayne lost both his parents, and McGinnis wasn't as young as Bruce Wayne when he lost his parents, but he still wanted revenge for his father's death. The villains on it were probably one of the weakest points of it. That's why it's not behind the top Batman show, but you know, aside from Blight and possibly Ink, all the rest of the villains really sucked. The Joker's was not that great. In fact, despite all the stuff I've said bad about Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, at least the Jokers look kind of cool in them friggin' movies. Uh, but, you know, just, you know, outside of Blight and, like I said, Ink, I think that was her name. Yeah. Outside of those two villains, the rest of the villains were pretty much mediocre. I mean, yes, they did eventually bring back Mr. Freeze, but Mr. Freeze went good, and Blight betrayed him, and da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, then, you know, and then, yeah, you did have Return of the Joker, the Batman animated movie special, which was pretty good, but really, you know, no original Batman villains were really that good. Like, who cares about characters like Shriek or freaking, like I said, the Jokers? They did have the Royal Flush family, so yeah, 3 great villains in that show is what you know got the show in the spot where it's at. I mean, because Paxton Powers, I think, yeah, Paxton Powers was Blight, or you know, maybe that was something. No, Paxton Powers was Blight, Ink, and the Royal Flush family were the only really, you know, top villains that were really a threat to McGinnis and Batman and all that stuff. All the rest were like, nobody cared about them. I mean, and honestly, I know the show was originally made to continue the animated series, but they have made comics of it. Honestly, Paxton Powers is one of my favorite Batman villains. Pretty much, is Blight. Pretty awesome character. I didn't care too much for Ink, but you know, I did like Paxton Powers, Blight, because you know he was an awesome evil villain. There was even a point where he was betrayed by his son, and I think he like killed his son or something like that, or was about to kill his son. But yeah, so that's why Batman Beyond is not behind the top Batman show ever. Alright, next up is, of course, the 1966 Batman show. Yes, I know it was campy, I know it was goofy, but you know, it was still fun to watch. And yeah, I only seen it when it was like reruns on, I think it was like TV Land or something. I used to watch it at my grandpa Cooper's house. And then when we got cable ourselves, I'd watch it, you know. But yeah, 1966 Batman show, had it not been for that show, we probably wouldn't have gotten too many Batman shows after that. Now, yes, maybe it was canceled midway through second season, but still, I think it was still a fun, good show for what it was. And yeah, it was campy and goofy and all that, but still a pretty good show. And Adam West and Burt Yard as Batman and Robin was pretty awesome as well. And like I said, when I get to my Batman Forever How I Would Have Cast the Script at that, I'll talk more about the Robin situation in that video, which will probably be next week. But, yeah. I like the 1966 Batman show. That's what made me a Batman fan. Then when they came out with the animated series in the 90s, and then Batman Beyond, at first I wasn't a big fan of Batman Beyond, but then when I went back and actually watched it, I was like, wow, this show's pretty good. And like I said, I did watch through all of the Batman. And Beware the Batman and Batman Brave and Bold, but you know. Anyway, so the top Batman show, greatest Batman show ever, always going to be the 1990s animated show. I've said it numerous times. This show was just amazing. It took the darkness and grit from the movies, the first 2 movies, and implemented that in the show. Sheila, still recording and you're playing that.
I came up with a done that.
Yeah, you're going to get me copyrighted. But, yeah, I love the 90s show. I mean, the arcs, the freaking... everything about that show was just amazing. Yes, was there a few bad episodes? Yes, there was, but every show has bad episodes. The greatest shows ever have bad episodes, so, like, I'll use an example now. I'm sure Game of Thrones had a lot of bad episodes. I'm sure freaking shows like Walking Dead and that have had some bad episodes here and there, so. But, for the time it came out, and honestly, had it not been for Batman animated series, we might not have got stuff like X-Men animated series and all that stuff. We'd be stuck still watching Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. By the way, I enjoyed that show, and I'm waiting for the freaking sequel to Game of Shadows, where it's Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. The movie. But I guess Robert Downey has to finish his role as Iron Man. Anyway. Yeah, those are my ranking of the Batman shows from best to worst, like I said. Had I watched Gotham consistently through and through, I probably would be up there as one of the best Batman shows. But I didn't really watch it through and through. So, I watched, pretty much all I've watched is is the season that they had this year, and that was it, the final season. Because I'm like, well, maybe finally now they'll show Batman. Which looks like they are from the trailers I've seen. But, yeah, let me know. Is there any that I ranked high that I should have ranked lower? Like, is there any I ranked at the best that I should have ranked at worst? Is there any... Do you agree with what I put? You know, let me know in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe for more, hit that notification bell. And I will catch you guys, I was going to do it tomorrow, but I'll catch you guys Friday for my review of Batman Returns. And I'll have better things to say about it than I have the last two Batman movies I've reviewed. Because Batman Returns, I loved it. But that'll do it. Catch you guys later. Peace out, Sheila.